Alright gamers, welcome back. World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore Ironman Adventures, episode 214, episode 64 on our Dwarven Paladin here. He is looking sick, man. We're looking so cool at this point in the game. We're just over the middle of the game hump. We're closing in on our mount here, which is really exciting. And last time we left off, we just got to Nigel's Point in Desolace. Let's go ahead and throw some fresh buffs on ourselves. We're not doing too much here in Nigel's Point, but we did get the flight path for the future, which is really nice when we come back here. Mostly we're just doing Centaur's Bounty. I guess I could also go ahead and do Regions for the Reclaimers, I think. But a lot of these level 35 quests we're going to hold off on. We're going to come back here, of course. But for now, let's talk to Corporal Melkins.
Many clans make up the Centaur race. Each has its own leader and agenda, but all the clans have one thing in common: cruelty. If we are to ever find peace, then the Centaurs must be removed. And so I put you on the task to do just that. While wandering Desolace, hunt Centaur and take their ears. Bring me many, many ears. Do this in service of the Alliance, adventurer, and we will be one step closer to war's end.
Sir, yes, sir. Alright, Regions for the Reclaimers and Valeral's Search. I think we'll take those. I got a lot going on out here in Desolace Bale. Roten wants us to pick up some Regions for one of our clients, as well as fetch some of these lost items. I don't know why my Dwarven always becomes pirate. I can't separate the two, bro. It's like, it's verging between Scottish and pirate. Seeing as you're here to help, why don't we get started?
One of my tasks out here involves picking up some reagents for Leftwich, a gnome mage in Karanos. Roeton seems to think it's easy coin in the bank since we're out here already. He doesn't really care that we're short-handed as is. The first few items on his list should be easy enough to get, and it'd be a good chunk of coin for anyone helping me out. I need some horns and claws from the Hate Fury Satyr to the east of here. Bring them back to me, and we'll get started on the rest of the list.
Right. And then Valeral Demon Slayer. What a name.
I am Valarial,
Bro's a big anime fan.
Adventurer. I've come here to discover the whereabouts of two missing nobles of a Darnassian merchant family. House Malam, the father of the house, fears the worst, and I am to do everything I can to find his missing children. I have yet to start my search for Tyrannus or Dalinda, but I'm hopeful I shall not be here long. Last word tells of them passing through the Stone Talon Mountains a few weeks ago.
Okay.
If you find their wagon, please come find me immediately.
So, are they in Stone Talon? They're close. They're right here. Okay. I'm about to say, he says Stone Talon. They were traveling through Stone Talon, so there is a bit of a chain off this. Let's go grab the chest, Malin's chest, and then we'll go gather horns and claws from the Hate Furies, then we'll get the Centaur ears. The Satyr's over here, Prince Kellen, we found him as well on our undead rogue, but I know they're undead. Add them to the target macro. I know they're actually demons. They're not undead. They're demons, which means we get to use exorcism, and we did get a new rank in exorcism, which is exciting. I wonder if the Horde found them. Okay, I see their caravan. They got a little too close to whatever this is. Let's bring out Harry. Henry. I always want to call him Harry. Harry the Hare. I guess that's his nickname, Harry. But his real name is Henry. Henry the Hare. Alright, that's the chest. I think I'm probably going to have to clear out around it, so. Can I pop on a sharpening stone in combat? I sure can. Double miss, feels good. Sharpening stones really make a difference when you're using a fast one-hander, because the damage is going to obviously it ramps the damage up of your weapon, right? 39 plus 3 is a lot bigger of a discrepancy than 3 extra damage on 108, right? Plus, I'm swinging so fast that I'm going to see that additional damage more and more and more and more and more. Oh, Kodos? Those aren't aggressive to me, right? Yeah, okay. See, I know they're a horde beast, so I thought maybe they'd be aggressive to me, but... As you rummage around the remains of the wagon, it becomes obvious that it was attacked by both spells and weapons. The battle seemed one-sided and quick. There's no blood to be found and no remains of any bodies. Whoever attacked the wagon was efficient and swift. As you continue on your search of the wagon, you find not only a pendant, but also footprints leading off towards the south. Yep. In the distance, you can see smoke rising from a large fort. The smoke is from a kept fire, not the burning of buildings, and your instincts tell you that the Malums, if still alive, were taken in that direction. You think Valerial in Nigel's Point should not only see the pendant you found, but also know about the signs of life to the south. Yeah, we'll let them know when we go back. Alright, sorry. Just texting the old girl back. Now, we remember this place. We've been over here on my undead rogue, Sargeron. Yeah, they are demons, which is nice. We added Kellen to the target macro. He can be anywhere in this little village. Let's go ahead and... Since I'm going to be using quite a bit of mana, I'm going to eat one of the Sagefish Delights. I know I'm going to be using quite a bit of mana because Exorcism uses quite a bit of mana. 200 mana is pretty crazy. Just kind of every now and then spam the target macro and see if Kellen comes in range. I think we found him last time up here. Sneeze, let me turn on the light real quick to help. Alright, I think it was just the one. Claws and horns and teeth, oh my. Back up to 25 gold. We don't have to train for another level. We're about to level up to 37, so I'm counting it as a level, but 38 we do get some good stuff. We finally get Seal of Wisdom. This is going to be a really cool seal to get. What I might wind up doing is judging Seal of Light. So we'll start the fight, Seal of Light, judge it, and then Seal of the Crusader, pull multiple mobs, start swinging on them, consecrate, and then once my mana gets under half, switch to Seal of Wisdom, and then just start bashing them. Don't judge it, but... The only seals we really want to judge are Seal of Righteousness, Seal of Light, and Seal of Justice. Other than that, it's not really worth judging them. Let the AoE work down that Hellcaller. That was a bad... Yeah, that's bad. I missed the timing on that Hodge by a little bit there, but that's okay. Remember, we have a ton of Moonberry juice. Let's just use it while we have it. I don't think we get our next drink until 45. So we'll be using the Moonberry juice for quite a while. I could exercise, but I don't need to. I'm just letting my mana regen here. Let's check up here real quick. This is where Kellen was last time we found him on our rogue. Pop a quick heal on ourselves. Let the mana regen for a little bit. Once we need to cast a new seal, we'll pop on a new blessing as well. I resisted the immolate, that's nice. I could have used Seal of Light and judged it, but I'm just going to save my mana here and heal after this fight, so... Unless Kellen might be down in the village somewhere, I don't think he's up here. I mean, we're not finding him with the target macro. Just give it one more check. See if there's maybe like a chest back here or something. Watch out for that elder lizard. Let's pull this guy out of the mountain. He somehow like got himself stuck in the mountain. He might be somewhere in this like middle region here. Let's go up there and check it out. Exorcism does so much damage, man. I'd love to see a crit on it, because it just did 230 there. base, which is pretty crazy. $240, which is like right in the parameters of what it says it'll do. 217 to 245 is like the range. So I'm assuming a crit would be like 350, maybe even 400. Like, and I think it scales off spell power. So the higher your int and spell power itself, the more damage exorcism will do and the crit will do. I'm very surprised that there's no chests around here. The tricksters can poison, interesting. And this should level us up. There we go. 37, boys. Another point, well, actually fresh points in toughness. My theory with toughness is right now it's only going to get 2 points, and then we'll do 3 points in shield spec, because that's just going to be obviously less damage that we take anytime that we block, which happens like pretty frequently, honestly. But this is going to go all the way up to 10%, right? So right now, currently my armor is 2,000. It reduces damage by 36.3%. If we pull out a calculator and we do 0.10 times 2,000, that's 200, right? 200 extra armor on top of this 2,000. It's let's call it devotion aura, right? It's like half a devotion aura. That takes me from 35% damage reduction to 40% damage reduction. That's almost reducing half the damage that I'm taking. And this is going to continuously scale. So like the higher the level we get, the more armor that we get from our pieces, the more value we're getting out of toughness. What I see a lot of people do is they'll put 5 here, 3 here, 2 here, 3 here, points here in defense, which I get. Extra defense is really nice because it's also damage reduction. It's your avoidance, it's your immunity to being crit. But I don't really mind being crit because that triggers redoubt, which increases our block chance, which means we have a better chance of blocking and then reducing the damage that we're taking for the next X amount of time. And I'm not going against like raid level mobs. Like if we were going against bosses or raid level mobs, like obviously the defense would be a little better. I just fat fingered lay on hands, fuck me. It didn't give me forbearance though. That's interesting. Yeah, if we were going against raid level mobs, defense would be a little better, and I definitely get that, but I feel like since we're mostly doing things out in the world solo, I get to build very different in ways that people that have like a completely min-maxed every little talent and figured out what's the best, right? Most of that is for end game content. When it comes to like, if you look up a build online, like what does the build say you should do? What's the best for yada yada? Most of that is for end game content, right? If you're specifically doing hardcore or just like content out in the world, I feel like you get to build a little different, and that's one thing that I love about hardcore, especially solo self-found, is I'm not having to worry about dungeons, I'm not having to worry about holding threat off other players, I'm not having to worry about you know, utility for my team or being avoidance capped for bosses or anything like that. So I get to build the way that I want to build a little custom. Like, you know what I mean? Like I get to try things and speculate what would be the best for being out in the world. Not bosses, not dungeons, not PvP, not group play, none of that. What gives me the most utility personally? And in my mind, I feel like 10% armor is really good. I mean, let's say we get up to 3,500 armor, 4,000 armor, 5,000 armor. 10% of 5,000, that's an extra 500 armor. You know what I mean? That's even more damage reduction. And if I wanted to, I could stack that up with Devotion Aura, and all of a sudden I'm taking 50% reduced damage. Seal of Light with Seal of Crusader, as I'm taking 50% reduced damage, anytime I get crit, I have increased block chance. Whenever I block, I'm reducing 30% of the damage coming in. It's just stacking up to make, like, why did I stop attacking? A really, really good defensive kit in my mind. All right, one more horn. The Immolate's a little nasty whenever I don't resist it, but that's where we just Holy Light it. Alright, it doesn't seem like Kellen is up, unfortunately, but that's okay. We've gotten pretty lucky with rares on this character. Minus Iron Eye. We've killed Iron Eye twice now, and no dice on that sword. Hopefully third time's the charm. We're not giving up though. We're gonna continuously farm him. Just like we farmed Namar on the Rogue, we never got the item we were looking for, which was the Dark Hooded Cape. But hopefully we get lucky on this character and we get the item that we're hunting for. And this is another thing, I talk about it a lot. We've mentioned it on this character and on my Rogue, but this is why I love not doing dungeons, is it makes mobs out in the world, it makes rares out in the world more meaningful and more of like a reason for me to try and go farm them, figure out what rares can drop what. Are they normal rares? Are they rare elites? Right? It just adds this whole new angle and dynamic to, like, looking around when I go into a zone, see what rares drop what, because some rares drop random items that can roll random stats. Like this guy here, he can drop pretty much any item in this level bracket, and the stats on it will be random, right? It could be of the bear, of the boar, of the eagle, of the whale. But then there's mobs like Iron Eye that drop specific pieces or random pieces. Iron Eye can drop either his specific sword, or he can drop a random rolled piece of gear, like the Sentinel's Cloak with a random stat line, Knight's Girdle with a random stat line, right? As we've seen, we've gotten 2 pieces off him that we're using. The Knight's Leggings of the Whale and the Renegade Pauldrons of the Bear. These are really, really good, and they look really sick, so. I did get a Star Ruby there, which is kind of exciting. That's our first Star Ruby. Oh, a chest. Now how do I get up there? Oh my god, he's platforming. Sir, you're going to want to see this. Oh! Look away, sir. Look away. Hold on now. I've got the angle. I've got the vision. These tiny little dwarf legs. See, that's kind of a rough jump. Okay, maybe there's a way out on the front. Are those stairs? No? Maybe over there. I know it's a sin to backpedal in WoW, but sometimes it's worth it. Be gone, foul demon. Now, I don't think this is gonna work. Oh my god, it worked. What up, boys? Ooh. Bro thinks he's a rogue. Alright, Consecrate should do the rest. And Red Aura. Always exercise in between cast times. I'm gonna go ahead and hodge that. This would be the last one that we're killing anyways, so. Alright, hopefully there's something good in here. No. But, I guess it's junk that we get to sell. Get rid of the nectar, I don't really need it. Copper? Actually, weirdly enough, we do need copper. It's crazy to see that in a zone like Desolus, but... Get rid of the wild hog shanks. We got so much tin that I need a little more copper to make more bronze. The bronze gets turned into pants, which we sell for more money. Alright, let's open up the map and see if any of the quests have turned gray to us that we were kind of like holding off on. I don't think so. I think I lined it up perfectly to where... Oh, Centaur's Bounty. This was the one that I was kind of worried about, but it's still green. This one gives a lot of experience, which is why I wanted to make sure it wouldn't turn gray on us. 4,000 experience. It's pretty damn good. Something tells me we're going to need bag space, though, because these centaurs aren't going to come away with those ears willingly. And they're not demons, which means they're going to be a little more annoying to kill than the satyrs. Weave perfectly in between the basilisks there. Rebuff and throw a new seal on away from the centaurs. That way, by the time that I get up to this one, I'll have regened, hopefully, a good bit of our mana. And you know what? Eat another clam. I should have ate a roast raptor and kept the stacks full. So we got wind chasers, casters. Just in time. The reason I'm not a big fan of the wind chasers, I'd rather take on the actual centaurs themselves, is it's hard to pull these guys together. Lightning bolt has like a 40-yard range, extremely long, and they're almost always going to be casting. It's really hard to like manipulate them into meleeing you. Unless they go right? The scouts are kind of like the same deal. Unless I get them in their dead zone, they're going to be shooting constantly. And if I ever run out of their dead zone, they're just going to go back to shooting. So this might be a little slow. I should specifically target centaurs if I can. Centaurs and maulers, and they're humanoids, so they're going to run near death. Ain't that peachy keen. A battle lord. Hopefully these guys don't run near death, but again, they're humanoid. Like, I feel like they're all gonna run near death. They can drop the crystal in the mountains, though. And yeah, they do run. These ears have a 20% drop rate. Oh, brutal. There's a 1. Okay. Why does it feel like I'm attacking so much slower? Maybe some of the animations just aren't going through. And he resisted. How about that? Just keep him in his dead zone. Let mana regen here. I'm just gonna go ahead and use one of those just because I'm gonna sell them anyways. I might as well get some use out of them, I guess, but... Alright, there's two. Something tells me this is gonna take quite a while. We have iron right here, though. Our mining's almost 225, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, we became an artisan, so I don't have to worry about 225 being our cap, but... Let's get that iron real quick before someone comes along and takes it. Now let's remember this is a centaur camp, so chances are there might be some chests in one of these little huts. So let's keep find treasure on for right now. Continuously let some mana come back. Oh, ho. We actually found some plans. That's so sick. Now, I don't know if it's any good compared to the axe that we've made. It's 11 strength, 4 stamina. Ours is 11 strength, 7 stamina. It's much slower. This is much faster. It probably looks cool though, I bet. It does look cool as fuck, though. Come on. 29 and 32. Yeah, ours is better. There's a chest back here. But, Khan des Hefa. It's one of the Khans. And, of course, the chest is next to him. The Golden Destroyer. 10 iron bars, 4 gold bars, 2 lesser moonstone, 2 heavy leather, some grinding stones. We have everything we would need to make it. It does look cool. It'd be the first mace we use in a long time. We used maces when we were a much lower level, and then we switched to swords, and since then we've basically been like swords and axes the whole way. It's just unfortunate that there's not very many two-handed maces. Like there are, but there's definitely more swords and axes compared to maces. The class-specific quest Paladin mace is really, really good. We'd probably still be using it if we were able to get it, but like we said, we don't do dungeons on any of our hardcore characters, so unfortunately it kind of got ruled out. It's one thing that I'm super excited for when it comes to the Whirlwind Axe on my warrior. That's actually a weapon that I can solo. I don't have to do any dungeons. I don't need help from anyone else. Like, I know that you can completely solo that. I'm very excited for that. But it just sucked that the Paladin mace, I think it's like the Hand of Vegamar or something like that. That's not it, but I know it's something close to that. You have to do some dungeons. You have to do some of Dead Mines. You have to do, I think, some of SFK. And even if I could do that stuff solo, but I just, we made a rule of no dungeons, and that means even solo too. I had one thing on the Rogue where we snuck through some of Scarlet Monastery library, I think, to read a book, but I didn't kill anything, so I didn't really count that as the dungeon. I wouldn't be able to sneak through things on the Paladin. Plus, that was like our first character. We were still kind of like establishing the rules and like what I wanted to do. Because at first I was like, well, we will do dungeons. But then I realized like, if I do one dungeon, I want to do them all. And there's no way that I'm going to have enough people on an old hardcore server to be able to do every dungeon. So we just made the rule, no dungeons. Also, look how cool this guy looks compared to the other centaurs. And he was a real warrior. He didn't run. Mulgore spice bread. There's a jade in here. The wild steel bloom goes for 2 silver. I guess we'll hold that over the woolen cloth. Or the bolt of woolen cloth. We'll keep the woolen cloth itself because these guys could drop more wool. It could stack well. The destroyers have an execute, so be careful. And a shock. They're like shamans. He just resisted my seal of righteousness? That son of a bitch. I kind of don't want to fight destroyers if I don't need to. I should just fight like maulers and regular centaurs and rangers, but if they're in the way, I guess we'll fight them. Battle lords are good. Another resist, bro? Come on. Centaurs are fast too, so when they're near death and they run pretty damn quick. That can stay. I think we're going to go ahead and get a new stamina and spirit food. This time we'll eat the raptor, the roasted raptor, so I can make another bag space. I need to go ahead and use the last of these flash bundles. They're just kind of taking up space in the bag, and they're not really incredibly useful. They're just like okay. The fish liver oil is nice for when I'm fighting, you know, like elite mobs, but let's just go ahead and use the last of these flash bundles. Seems like his devotion ore, oh, it's literally devotion ore, so it goes to his allies too. Alright, a third of the way there. Alright, that's 6. Let me text this girl back real quick. Alright, listen, bro. He's gonna pull the destroyer, which is fine. But I'm not gonna take any chances. Let's go ahead and throw a holy light on ourselves. 796 heal. Alright, kind of starting to speed up here a little bit, thankfully. I don't want to jinx it, but... I want to loot them if I can, because when you leave loot on a body, you extend the despawn/respawn rate of mobs by quite a bit. I think it's like 2 times or something like that. So when you completely take the loot off their body, they're going to despawn and respawn quicker, which means more centaurs for me to kill, faster rate at getting the ears. I think I want to be taking on 2 at a time if I can. I think our sword skill is actually our highest skill now. $183 on swords, 180 on our defense. Our swords are actually higher than our defense. That's sick. Polearms kind of got left in the dust a while ago. Two-handed axes caught up to polearms, but they could be a little higher. Let's switch over to the two-handed axe for a little bit. See if I can level up that skill just a little more too. See, that's the worst part. The miss means like 6 seconds of no damage. But I am doing Grat's Knife Bride. I am doing a really big chunk of damage with the two-hander. Every hit is what, like... Let's see here. $122 with 38, plus 12 whenever he hits himself back with Red Aura. So 160, 170, close to 200 damage every swing, if it connects. But that's every 3.5 seconds, versus every 1 second I'm dealing 50 damage consistently. And I have reduced damage that I'm taking because I have a shield, higher armor, block chance. So close to 200 damage versus 150 with more durability with a one-hander. And actually the one-hander I'm doing is like 50 consistently plus the 12 that they're taking back from Red Aura. So 55 plus 12 is what, 60, so call it 70, 70, 140, almost 200 from the one-hander too, if every hit connects. Plus the reduced damage that I'm taking from having the shield, the higher armor, the chance to block. I definitely feel like I'm taking more damage with the two-hander. But again, it is easier to like ranged kite them with the two-hander. And what I mean by that is like weave in and out whenever my swing timer is ready, right? It's also easier to loot in between swing timers. Damn. Two-handed axe is at 159, 160. I'll be good with it when it's at like 175, I guess, would be nice. How does it feel with Seal of the Crusader? Because I do get more attack power, right? I'm at 543. We're hitting like 107 every 2.5 seconds. Looks like 2.4 seconds is my swing time or something like that. Probably still better to have Seal of Righteousness. It would be better if I have Seal of Command, of course, but we respect out of it. I don't know. I just, like we said, I'd rather be a Protection Holy Paladin. That's kind of what the vision that I had for this guy. I don't want to play... Wow, big crit. I didn't want to play a Red Paladin. I'm saving the whole big two-handed weapon fantasy for when I play a Warrior. Or maybe even Shaman for some small periods of that class, but I figured when it came to the Warrior, the Shaman, and the Paladin, on all three of them, at some point I probably will use like a two-hander or a one-handed and a shield. Like when I'm starting out the Warrior, we're probably going to be leveling with like a dagger and a one-handed shield. It's really good at low levels. And when it comes to the Shaman, like if I find a staff that's really valuable with a lot of high-end damage, or, you know, a two-handed axe or mace, and I'm like around the level where I can learn that talent, we'll probably pick it up for a few levels. But towards the mid-game where I really want to start like fleshing out the identity of what I want that character to be, like this character, when we hit 30 or so, I kind of started working towards being consistently like a more Protection Holy Paladin. That's around the range where I kind of want to start to like lock into the fantasy that I want that character to be, right? So on the Paladin, we're going like Protection Holy Hybrid. On the Shaman, I'm going to go Enhancement Elemental Hybrid, but I'm going to go Dual Wield Enhancement instead of big two-handed enhancement. So very fast attacks, very high procs of Flurry, heavy damage on my shocks and my totems. Lightning Shield will deal even more damage. I'm going to have some self-healing with some points in healing. That's kind of like the fantasy that I want to go with there. And then on the Warrior, most people go arms in the early game, and then by the end they switch over to Fury. I want to go... I don't know if I want to go two-handed Fury or two-handed arms. I just know I want to play two-handed. So like no matter what I do, I'm probably going to... In the early game, like I said, we might be using a sword and a shield, or a dagger and a shield, excuse me. At some points, I might find some good weapons, and I'll go to Fury for a little bit, like dual-wielded Fury or whatever. But for the most part, I want to be using a big two-handed weapon the entire time. I want to see the big crits. I want to see large executes, that kind of thing. So that way, I'm kind of having different weapon playstyles across all these melee characters, and not just one, which is like big two-handed weapon for all of them, right? On my Rogue, we played Combat Rogue, but we still used daggers and swords, and we switched around. The Paladin will be a sword and a shield. The Warrior will be a two-handed weapon. The Enhancement Shaman will be two one-handed weapons. But I'll also probably carry a shield around on him too, just in case, and like, you know, have that bonus survivability in case I need it. And then if I make the second Rogue in the far, far future, I'll play him probably exclusively daggers, and I'll play like Subtlety, Assassination, Hybrid, or maybe even a hybrid of all three specs, so I can get Riposte, so I can get Hemorrhage, like multiple different things that I could do with that. But I'll probably play him specifically just daggers, just to have some diversity. But honestly, after all these melees, like next up we have another melee class, and then after that, when we come back to the Alliance, we're going Tauren Shaman next on the Horde. When we come back to the Alliance, I think we finally get to play a caster, my Druid, but it's going to be a caster hybrid. I'm going to play Balanced Resto, but I'm also going to be staying out of Moonkin form. I'm going to be human form and using all of my forms very like niche and versatility wise. So I'm going to want to focus on having a good weapon that I can like actually get in there and start smacking them down with. So he's going to be like a spellcaster melee hybrid is how I'm looking at the Druid, where I have all my forms. I'm not just going to be in Kitty the entire time. I'm not just going to be in Bear the entire time. I'm not just going to be in Boomkin the entire time. I'll jump into Kitty, maybe get a pounce on him, bleed, jump out, throw a hot on myself, throw Moonfire, Insect Swarm, hot ourselves up, then start smacking him with a staff or a mace. Jump into Travel form, run, cover some distance, jump into Bear form, charge at a mob, jump out, throw a hot on myself. Like, a true master of shape-shifting is kind of how I want to play the druid, and not just like, oh, well, feral's the best. We're going to go feral. We're going to sit in kitty the entire time, and it's going to be kind of boring. Like, it's definitely the fastest and the best way to play a druid. I understand that. But again, this isn't about speed. We're just kind of like enjoying ourselves. We're doing things for the fantasy sake of it and how I kind of envision these characters. Like, they're like Dungeons and Dragons characters. Oh, a priest. If I buff her, maybe she'll buff me. I'll get some insane bonus health. Nice.
Thanks a lot.
Wow, she's got a really good power word, fortitude. Holy shit, 42 stamina. That's an extra 420 health. Whew. Now, we had the same issue with this quest on my rogue, Gizelton. He patrols this road specifically. But whenever I saw him on my rogue, he didn't have a quest for me to take. So maybe it's like a maybe there's like a prerequisite to it, and I didn't have it done on my rogue. But I did basically every quest in the world. So I'm not really sure what the deal is there. Maybe I have to have a certain amount of rep with Booty Bay or Gadgetzan or something like that. Maybe I need to have a certain rep with one of the Centaur clans. I'm not sure. But I wasn't able to do it, and it might be the same case on my Alliance character, so that might be one that we wind up hiding in the future. We'll hold off on Scepter of Light and Kodo Roundup until we come back. I think... what's next? $33... little pack of hyenas here crossing the road. 34... are those the lowest level quests? Maybe I should do them right now. 35. I actually think they are the lowest level quests. Maybe we should do these right now. Scepter of Light and Kodo Roundup. Well, if we're gonna do them, let's at least go back to Nigel's Point real quick, because it's right here, and I can empty out my bags. I definitely need to go back to a major city at some point, or at least Gadgetzan, and smelt all this stuff down and put it in the bank, craft with it. Once we're done with these next two quests, Kodo Roundup and the Scepter of Light, we'll hearth back to Gadgetzan. Probably going to go with a little bit of a longer episode today. It's a lazy Sunday. I got some time to game, and I kind of want to get this intro half of Desolace done, and that way we can dip out of here and come back at another time. 35 is the lowest level after this, so I think we go back to South Shore for a few quests. Or actually, I think we go back to the jungle for a few quests. We go ahead and take on Tiger Mastery, Panther Mastery, I guess we'll knock out Raptor Mastery just to keep it on pace with the others, but it is a little higher level than the others. Do you have a report, Bill?
Ah, the ears, well done. Your service to the Alliance is unquestioned, adventurer. The blood you spilled in Desolace will, no doubt, save countless lives.
Thank you, sir. Despicable creatures, the satyr. Story says they're somehow tied to the Night Elves, but I'm not so sure I believe it. We do know that they are tied to the Night Elves. I think they get that on the account of the one elf that brought them into the war a few years back. We know who that is. That's how they're tied, but they're not like, yeah. World's never been the same since. A lot more dangerous and a lot scarier.
Good, adventurer. Not sure if these are of any good quality, But if Leftwich wanted a specific type, he should have specified before sending the reclaimers out here to begin with. What say you to getting on with the next item on his list? Next on Leftwich's list...
We'll hold off on that. It's 35. We can do that when we come back. Now, Valarl's quest is a long chain, and it's all level 33. He says nothing.
Infuriating. This entire fiasco. The two of them were warned about how dangerous coming here would be. Now they're both missing. Or worse. You said you saw tracks heading to a fort nearby? That may be our best bet, from what the locals have said. That fortress is infested with members of the Burning Blade. Orcs
The Burning
who have dedicated
Blade.
themselves to demon causes. They may not represent the majority of the Horde's beliefs, but they are evil and will slay you on sight if you're caught spying. Find both Delinda and Tyrannus if you can, and come back to me with your findings. Start your search at this fortress. I will contact my superiors in Darnassus immediately, and let them know the situation. Adventurer, there is something else I wish to impress upon you. My superiors have shown some concern over Tyrannus's and his motives for coming here. It is more important to them that Delinda is found and brought back safely. Tyrannus is to be gauged before he is taken home.
Is he a bad apple? Some would say a betrayer. Morandis.
Step on up.
Ooh, 2 new recipes. I didn't even know that she had those. Sell, 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 learn, mystery stew, and heavy kodo stew. And then go to first aid, make a bunch of bandages, get rid of some of the silk.
I supply only the finest.
It sucks, we could be getting points out of these, but I'd rather just have the money. We'll get to a high level in first aid regardless, with all the cloth that we'll get throughout our runs. This should put me back up to like 27 gold, close to 30. Yeah, 45 is when we get Morning Glory Dew. Make 1 wool bandage. We'll keep the stack of 1 here just as like a placeholder.
See you around.
And that gets us back up to 27. Let's go take Scepter of Light. I think that's also going to take us into here. And then once we're done with these two, we'll run down. We'll do Kodo Roundup real quick. Just about to hit our hour mark. So like I said, yeah, we'll probably go for like an hour and a half. Hopefully I can get both of these done in 30 minutes. Then we'll hearth and I'll get a lot of this stuff kind of taken care of as far as crafting goes. With that priest buff, we're encroaching 2200 health. With a food buff, that'll get us there. Unfortunately, the Burning Blade, they deal with demons, but I'm pretty sure they're humanoids. so I can't exercise them. Now, if they summon any demons, of course I can exercise those pets, but... Thunder Axe Fortress. Pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that's where the Scepter of Light is, so let's get that real quick, too. Yeah, they are humanoid. They can drop the crystal in the mountains, though. Hopefully they do. I can't remember if I even got that to drop on my rogue. There's the lighthouse in the distance. Skirt past these thunder lizards. It'll be so nice to have our charger. $65,000 jumps. We're close to our rogue's record. I feel like I'm intentionally jumping more on this character than I did on my rogue, and I jumped a lot on the rogue. But we were close to 100,000 on the rogue. We didn't quite make it. I think I was like 8,000 or 9,000 short. It's definitely something that I will get whenever we get back on that character. I'm not going to record any of it, of course, like I said, but I do want to, in my own time, at some point in history, get the rest of his professions maxed out, max out all his weapon skills, all that kind of jazz. He'll be my, like... I've called all of these hardcore characters like trophies once we get them there. I'm kind of like considering them minted and keeping them like trophies, right? My undead rogue will be my most prized trophy. It's my main class that I play in WoW, undead rogue. He was the first character that I got to 60 in hardcore. I did it with you guys, all recorded, completely solo self-found. Alright, Azor.
The Burning Blade in Thunder Axe Fortress to the east is rumored to have acquired the Scepter of Light from the Naga. Legend tells that the scepter is able to sink entire cities under the great seas. The Burning Blade must not be allowed to possess such power. To that end, you must retrieve the scepter yourself. It is held by a Burning Blade seer who studies the scepter from atop one of the Thunder Axe watchtowers.
Right, you heard the man. Try and get back over there while I still have some of my priest buff on me. We'll pop on a fresh sharpening stone and stamina buff when we get over there as well. And then Kodo roundup is pretty easy. It's just collecting Kodos and bringing them back, so it's just a little time consuming. Because you have to take them one at a time, go there, come back, go there, come back, go there, come back. Sartheris' Strand. I wonder if these Whirlwind Rippers can drop Element of Air. I'd imagine they could. Yo. Hole. Oh, we're now neutral with the Argent Dawn because he works for the Argent Dawn. That makes sense. If I could get exalted with one faction on this character, it would definitely be the Argent Dawn. It's very fitting for a paladin to like work for the Argent Dawn and be in cahoots with them in close direct contact with them. Oh. Someone's out here pulling this. Oh, it's a shaman. Shaman. He waved at the other guy. Alright, so it seems like the target that we're going for is in here. Fresh buffs. I'm eating a stamina and a spirit over mana regen because they're humanoid, meaning I'm not going to be able to exercise them. Meaning I'm not too worried about the mana regen. I think our base Blessing of Wisdom will be just fine. The only thing that we're really going to be spending our mana on is Consecrate and Self-Healing. But Seal of Light is doing, you know, majority of the heavy lifting when it comes to self-healing, so. Go ahead and get Hodge on cooldown and stop his cast. Curse of Thorns. Bulky. Bludgeon. 15 silver right there. Flame Strike and Flame Buffet. I want to try and pull these Fellsworn on their own. Ooh. Raincaller Cap of the Owl. Intin Spirit. Definitely not nearly as good as ours, but this would be insane on like my Shadow Priest or a Mage or a Warlock. I'd be stoked on this. Mana's full, so I was just kind of spending some. Saving Hodge, because we're about to pull 2 mobs. We'll go for the Seer first. Maybe I should be hodging her, but not too bad. It's a nasty debuff. It lasts for quite a while. It's the only part that really is nasty about it, but... Alright, let's let some mana regen here. Seems like Delinda's inside. Actually, I remember seeing Delinda on our Undead Rogue when we came in here, and we were like, What the hell are you doing, human? Another helmet. That's funny. Use one Consecrate. Now I just need to let the mana regen for a bit here. Thankfully, these humanoids don't run away. Not going to switch to Seal of Light. I'm just going to let Seal of Crusader keep working here. Let that mana regen. Not using a fresh Seal because he's basically dead already. Front load the mana, fresh Blessing. Check for chests in a place like this. Doesn't seem like it. Before we get around the next bend, I'll go ahead and like fully heal up, stop, drink some mana, and kind of reset. I'm having a feeling that I'm gonna have to escort Delinda out of here. One Holy Light, one Flash. Stop and drink. We'll regen the rest of our health naturally by the time we get our mana up. Perfect. Now this room, a little tricky. Line of sight, everyone. Let's take our time in this room and kind of flesh it out. I don't mind pulling this Fellsworn, honestly. Line of sight this chick. She's not getting any casting off. And we resisted it. Huge. We'll take one. Alright, two casters might be a little nasty at once, so try and Zerg down the Shadow Mage real quick. Yeah, we're fine. There's no items that we can interact with here. None of these scrolls are like anything of importance that we can stop and read. We know there's a demon in there. We remember that from our rogue. I wonder if the Horde has to, slay the demon and the Alliance has to help the Night Elf.
Thank Elune, someone has finally come to help. Please, adventurer, I need your help. My brother Tyrannus and I were captured and brought here by the Burning Blade. I think they mean to sacrifice me to their demon masters. I knew coming to Desolus was a mistake, but Tyrannus has recently begun craving knowledge of all things arcane, even against the wishes of our people. He decided to make this trek even after hearing tales of this land's demon infestation. I fear the worst for him. We were brought here after the orcs slaughtered all our guards and servants. Oh, the terrible things they did to them. I thought surely they would kill us right there and then, but it became obvious they had other plans. Tyrannus attempted to speak to them. I think he wanted to impress them with his knowledge of the arcane.
He tried to, barter his way in.
I can't leave here until I know what's happened to my brother. Find him, then come back for me when his fate is known.
Right. We have to come back to her when we find out his fate, meaning I'm probably going to have to clear out this place again. Unless I'm quick. Okay, so it seems like he's in the Citadel to the right over there. Quick flash for ourselves. We have a chest inside, that's nice. For as rare as helmets are, they don't really sell for much. This was sloppy. I didn't need to do that when he's already this low. I just kind of wasted mana there. Oh, they can watch me drink. Oh. It seems like Tyrannus has switched sides. Okay. We're going to want to clear out most of this room then, just to be safe. I don't want to try and pull him alone and then grab some of the others. This should be line of sight for her, right? Plus the chest is in the back, so... He's got Wrath and Moonbeam, or Moonfire. Pull him around like this. Alright, Tyrannus, you're gonna pay. Just a little arcane dot, not a big deal. Just checking to see when do I get my next rank in Seal of Light, and it's at level 40. I'll take the Fellsworn and the Adept at the same time. We'll grab the chest and then we'll head back to Delinda. I should have just enough time to do Kodo Roundup as well. If we're quick, and it might push it to like 130, 145 at most, but I think we'll be okay. Is there a chain off this? There isn't. I'm assuming she's gonna have us like go back to Telthendril, whatever his name is. Block, 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 parry, block. Like, oh, bro, it's so nice. We love being protection. All right. We got some more mana potions. That's nice. Medium hide. That's also nice. Some boots that I can sell. 10 silver. Go ahead and get rid of the drinks. The hog shank as well. Now, yep, I would say these guys have probably respawned, unfortunately, but it is what it is. All I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling. I'm not the only one. Alright, we're starting to collect excess of the greater healing potions, which means I get to store them in the bank in case we run low on our main stack. Same will go for the mana potions. That's really nice. I think I was keeping some like excess healing potions because I wasn't finding these consistently, but now we are, so. Pretty much completely here. We'll let the mana regen now. I'll stop and drink after this. We'll have to clear out this room again, but that's okay. We might have to escort Delinda out of here. I don't imagine she's gonna want to stay inside of this place. Kill one more. We'll stop and we'll drink after this guy, and then we'll pull a couple multiple casters, get them out here. They're not giving great experience. It's like 100 each. It's not really anything, but we are already 6 bars in, 30%. 3 more levels. Nice. Broke both their casting. We'll Hodge whoever casts next. She's close enough to death. I'm gonna let hers go through. Seal of Light for the next mob. Quick little flash for ourselves. Let the mana regen. Take on these two. I felt like the Shadow Mage wasn't going to cast as much as the Adept, but I was wrong. Quick heal. Holy Light and a flash should do the trick. Let that mana regen. Go to... I didn't even think about it, but I should be in my auras here. Go to Fire Resist Aura when I'm fighting the Adepts. Shadow Resist Aura when I'm fighting the Shadow Mages. See, I'm reducing a lot of that damage that I'm taking. Because they're casting anyways, they're not really like melee hitting. And every now and then they are going to melee hit us, but... That's one of those things that you don't have to do. It'll just help like a little bit. I fear Tyrannus will attempt to learn the Burning Blade's secrets and count himself among their kind if they allow it. He has always adored the power magic brings to those who are seduced by it. I'm not sure I could endure returning home to my family with news of Tyrannus' spirit flirting with such dangers. It's a terrible enough crime among my kind to pursue such things, but to become that which we attempt to protect ourselves from, well, that's apprehensible.
This is terrible, but I suppose it was necessary. If it wasn't by your hand, it would have surely been by that of my peoples. I suppose I should thank you. Please forgive me if it doesn't seem sincere. I mean no offense. With the knowledge of my brother's fate in hand, it seems the time for my escape has come. If you are still willing, I will accept your aid in escaping this horrible place. When you are ready, we can make our way to safety. So, the time is now then. I appreciate your efforts, and if the situation does not lend itself, then allow me to thank you now for everything you've done for me and my family. If you're ready, then there is nothing else for me here. We can leave when you feel the time is right.
Alune be with us. Let's make haste from this evil place. Okay, I can't buff her up, unfortunately, but... Of course she would go the one way that I didn't really clear out. It's okay, it's okay. Hopefully we don't have to take her all the way back. That way I can kind of like leave right around here and then we'll go do Kodo Roundup. We'll turn in whatever we need to in town and then we'll hearth back out. Mark her with a moon so I can keep track of her. She should join in here any second now. She's like a monk. She uses her hands. This one's gonna die quick enough to where I don't want a Seal of Light yet. I'm letting the mana regen a little bit here. Throw a Holy Light on ourselves. Go for the Reaver. Get both Reavers if I can. Oh, 3 mobs, okay. Should be okay here. Go ahead and Consecrate again, and if I need to, I'm going to use a mana potion, but I think I'll be okay. Oops. Cast a Holy Light just to be safe. Front load the mana, put a new seal on. We'll go Seal of Light here. Finish the rest of the health with my Seal of Light restoration. I'm just letting that mana regen. Probably gonna have to take you down. Judge it right before it wears out, and then we'll go to Seal of Crusader. And she's out. Hopefully no one like tries to jump her at the end like some of these escort quests have, where it's like, hang on, I hear something, and then all of a sudden like 5 mobs spawn. But, you know, we're buffed up. We should be okay if that happens. I think I have to take her like right here. I've talked about this before, but I love the way that when Kodo walk by, they like literally shake the ground. My screen is shaking because they're so big and they weigh so much. I will hurry back to Valero. Finish off those that you can. I should be fine on my own. Alright. Let's head south real quick to Smeed Scrabble Screw. Whoa, Rexar. I need to be wary of that in the future. That dude will one-shot me. His bear would one-shot me. That is really scary. Be careful patrolling the roads as an alliance in Desolus. Holy shit. I'm 99% sure he would just jump on me if I got near him. There are some Horde NPCs and Alliance NPCs where if you're the opposite faction, they won't mess with you unless you attack them. I'm thinking things like Flight Masters, specific NPCs outside of like villages and stuff like that. But then again, there's also some that will just like jump right on you if you get too close. Chicken smoothie. Light be with you, sister. Oh, shit. There's a fucking Deep Strider Searcher roaming the roads, too. Oh, she gave me Blessing of Might. Thank you. Bro, these roads are not safe. Usually the roads are the best place to travel, but you got Rexar on one road, this Deep Strider Searcher on another. I think we could actually take that thing on. I'd like to be level 39 at least if I was going to take him on, so I wouldn't miss so much, but a mob like that, if we can do it on a rogue, I'm pretty confident that we could do it on a paladin, but I'd have to play it very smart. I'd have to like use Hodge on cooldown to like make some space, keep my mana high and regenerated really well, make sure I'm fully buffed up before the fight goes on, because chances are by the end of the fight I'm going to lose all my buffs. It's going to involve a lot of self-healing. His hammer is huge, bro. The mallet itself is bigger than my entire body. That's crazy. If you remember the lore that we learned, these were some of the first beings on Azeroth, and that's why they kind of look like dwarves, is they were made in... Well, dwarves were made in their image, technically, but... A lot of heavy stone, we love that. But yeah, the stone iron dwarves, or the stone dwarves, however you would say it, and then the sea giant, like dwarves, were created by the Titans to like form the planet. I'm assuming the stone dwarves formed the land and the mountains, and the sea dwarves formed the ocean beds and like the beaches and stuff like that. Alright, I believe that's Smede's village down there. Dude, look at these Kodo bones. Go ahead and just hodge that thing and keep running. It should reset by the time we get to Smede's camp. I can't remember, is there lore why the Kodo come to Desolace to die? It feels like this is the place where they come to die. The Gizelton Caravan Kodo. Smede, my man.
Bibley thinks he's the only goblin in Desolace who knows how to make money. Well, the only caravan brave enough to travel these parts relies on me. Ever since I learned how to rejuvenate and control aged and dying Kodos with my Kodo Combobulator, the caravan owner Cork, Rigger, and I entered a partnership. Take the Combobulator and use it on any ancient, aged, or dying Kodos. It will jolt the beast into a tamed Kodo and force it to follow you. Once you have a Kodo tamed, bring it back to me.
Well, there's literally some right here, so I just wanted to go ahead and accept it and get some work done on this right here. There is a cooldown on this thing, though, isn't there? That Kodo sure is a beauty. Wait a minute, where are my bifocals? Perhaps you should inspect the beast for me. Oh shit, I have to inspect it too, I forgot. Should be able to snag one more before they get too far away. It definitely helps save some time. Damn it. Then the last three I'll probably get from the actual graveyard. Come on, keep up, keep up. Yeah, we're making pretty good time. I should be able to, like I said, finish this quest within the next 3-4 minutes. And how much experience does it give me? 2,000. Not much, but it's a low-level quest that I kind of want to just go ahead and knock out now. So we'll get this one done, turn it in, go talk to Azor, turn that in, and then we'll go talk to Valeral, turn that in. And then we'll hearth back to Gadgetzan. I'll go ahead and probably wrap the video up there, and then I'll get all this smelted down and put into the bank before the start of the next episode. Probably try and play at least one more session later tonight. At this point, we're closing in on 40, so I'm really excited to continue to play, and I want to play more and more. And oh, but you only get so much done in an hour, you know. MMOs, they take a ton of time, a lot of investment, and I'm okay with the slow burn, you know. But I mean, shit, we fished up one lake in South Shore. From the top to the bottom, and it took me nearly 30 minutes to fish the entire thing up. It was insane. The Kodo Graveyard. Grab this guy first, so that way on the way back, next time I'll grab that guy. Now remember, the Horde village is right there, so let's, you know, kind of be careful. Smeed said, "Ah, the wondrous sound of Kodo. I love the way they make the ground shake." I said the same thing, not but 10 minutes ago, Smeed. Alright, one more beauty after this. I guess we got pretty damn lucky. With this quest specifically, if you get lucky and time it to where one of those packs of aged and dying Kodo walk by, you could probably get 4 or 5 done just like that in seconds. Just grab one, bring it to him, inspect it. Grab another one, bring it to him, inspect it. We got 2 or 3 out of the 4. No, 2 out of the 5 from that pact. But because I waited and let him talk and kind of learned what was going on, the pact had already kind of moved by his camp, and we only got 2 out of it, but not that big a deal. His camp is pretty close to the graveyard. It's insane he couldn't do this himself. But, you know, we'll take the free experience. Sorry, I heard some noise going on outside. I was seeing what it was. Alright, Smeed. The caravan will be here shortly. Do you have the 5 new tamed Kodos I was asking for?
3, 4, and 5. Excellent. I asked for 5 tamed Kodos, and I get 5 tamed Kodos. I am going to be rich. Yes, very rich. I hope to see the look on Bibley's green face when he hears about my success.
We'll take the Wrangling Spalders. I'm not sure if I want to use these. I guess in theory I should, but I feel like my current shoulders look cooler, and I kind of want to keep them. But we would lose 1 stamina to gain 2 agility and 3 armor. So in theory, these are better. But I like the way that the Renegade Pauldrons look, and they were a drop from Iron Eye, which makes me want to keep them even more. See if his Sparak is up. This rare was never up when I was on my rogue. I think he's a carrion bird. The name doesn't sound like he would be a whirlwind elemental. It seems like he's more than likely going to spawn in this pocket. And speaking of rare spawns, we did see Iron Eye again, like right around here, the same region that he was spawned the first time we killed him. So I think more than anything, if he's going to spawn, chances are it's going to be in this little pocket here. And we got a thunder lizard on us. Let's just ignore him and keep running. Remember, mind the road. Rexar patrols the road, and I'm a little nervous about him. We're like actively looking for Rexar now. I mean, he's as strong as like Thrall. He will fuck you up. I knew that this thing was gonna get aggroed. They just move so fast when they want to. It's like they have a sprint or something. And then I'm gonna pull that one too. See how fast he just covered that distance there? Ethel Rethor. Strange Alliance. And then raid on the coal car. It's weird that Strange Alliance and Brutal Politics, they have low-level chains once you start them. I guess they're both kind of the same thing. I think we went with the Gelkis last time. I think this time we're going to go with the Magrum. Do you have the Scepter of Light?
The elusive Scepter of Light. Your acquisition of it has removed a grave threat to the world. Well done, adventurer, well done. Adventurer, I entrust you with the...
Not yet. Those shoulders look cool, but ours are better. We're going to come back for this quest around 38 plus. For now, I think we need to do Brutal Politics. I need to... learn what the Magrum's intentions are and see if it aligns with this character. While we run, let's do a little search. WoW Classic. What is the difference between the Magrum and the Gelkis? The Magrum are brute force traditionalists. So the Magrum are brute force traditionalists. They believe that only raw strength matters and reject their birth mother, the earth elemental Theradris. I think we actually chose the Magrum on my rogue, and we were killing the Gelkis. they view the Gelkis as weak. The Gelkis consider themselves more civilized and sophisticated. They respect nature, revere Therodris, their birth mother, and possess a more organized social structure. Yeah, I think we chose the Magrum clan because I remember towards the end they were like, they had us killing things, and they were very like raw about it. We got a target dummy and we brought it to them, and they went crazy over it like they were like dumb brutes. So I'm 99% sure we went with the Magrum clan and we were killing the Gelkis. I think on the Alliance, especially on this character, we'll go with the Gelkis. It more so just matters like what kind of character I'm making my character, and not so much are they on the Horde or the Alliance. Obviously, like my Orc Warrior, I'd probably side with the Magrum and show like brute strength, but on my Tauren Shaman, I might side with the Gelkis and be more about peace and sophistication and harmony with nature, and you know, having respect for Therodris, the Earth Mother. Pack of hyenas, watch out for Rexar. Alright. We'll have one more thing to do later when we come back, which is Strange Alliance. So yeah, we'll raid on the coal car, steal their supplies. Mostly just the 35 and the 32. The 35 is just go form an alliance with one of them. The 32 is like the start of that alliance, which is a low-level quest. But I need to get that done before this next level, because I think it'll go gray if I don't. Copper. I think at this point I do need it, yeah. Bunch of packs of hyenas around here in Desolus too. Nice, full stack of 10. Let's get this stuff turned in. All hearth back to gadgets in. Remember, we're not going to check for Iron Eye until Monday, at least tomorrow, because we killed him pretty late last night, and he's got a 24 to 48 hour respawn. And the likelihood of him spawning 24 hours right after the kill is very, very slim. It's more likely it's going to be somewhere between 24 and 48. That's how it worked for us when we found his first respawn. So Monday before I work, I'll try and do a session and we'll check for Iron Eye then. Grats to Brutal Lulz.
Thank you, adventurer. Delinda made it safely back here to Nigel's Point, and in much better condition than I could have asked for. The fact that she arrived here under her own power was a good sign. I hope you're well. It pains me to know that both Tyrannus and Delinda didn't return, but the embarrassment of Tyrannus's decisions is hers to endure. It is something she will have to deal with when she returns to Darnassus.
Oh, I think he means like, oh, she's going to be in trouble for her brother's actions. Interesting. It's a strange alliance, right? Yes.
We are fortunate the Centaur clans fight among themselves, for if they joined into a single force, then they would be unstoppable. Yes, we are fortunate, and we should press our advantage. One of the Centaur clans, the Gelkis clan, is in brutal war with the Magrum clan. If we attack the Magrum, then perhaps an alliance may be struck with the Gelkis. Speak with Uthek the Wise in the outskirts of the Gelkis camps in southwestern Desolus. Through her, we might strike an alliance with the Gelkis. Desolus is
We're
a
gonna do
land
both
at war.
starts.
The centaurs wage war with each other, and we
I think you
believe the
choose
victor
after
among
you do
them
this
will
quest.
spill out and threaten our strongholds. That we cannot allow. We must learn how to beat the centaurs, and to do that, we must ally with one of the clans. The Magram centaurs war with the Gelkis. If you fight the Gelkis, then the Magram might consider an alliance. Earn the favor of the Magrams, then speak with Warug in the Magram village in southeastern Desolus.
That's actually not how it works. I'm remembering now. You have to get your reputation up enough to where you can then talk to them without being hostile. I'm remembering now. We get a new cloak, the Garrison Cloak. Our old cloak, 5 stamina, 2 int. This cloak is 6 stamina, 3 agility, 2 extra armor. I'm going to take this cloak over the Dokebi Cloak, purely for the agility, giving us more dodge chance and having that 1 extra stamina. It's better. Sell the rest of this stuff.
Safe travels.
It's a hunter, we'll give him that buff. Careless heal, she'll get that buff.
Hey there.
Alright, let's go ahead and hearth. Like I said, I'll do a lot of this smelting and stuff on my own, just to save some time. We're already pretty far into this session, so let's go ahead and jump in bed, and we'll call this one here for now. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one later tonight. Peace and love, and God bless gamers.